So, what would you say if I said to you that there are speaking opportunities and speaking engagements all around you? Like literally, you can create them. What if I said to you that there's an audience that is waiting on the transformation that you have for their life, for their career, for their business, for their ministry, and they're simply waiting on you? What would you say? What would you say to that? Well, I want you to hang around today for this conversation that we are going to be having here on the Charlotte Mitchell Radio Show, episode 715. And we're going to be talking about live streaming. I know. Some of you might be scared. You might say, no, I don't want to hear about this. Trust me, hang around. In particular, if you are a leader, because we're talking about live streaming, how leaders can amplify their influence. And we have our guest hanging out with us in the virtual studio right now that'll be coming right up after our quick introduction. We're super excited to have Apostle Dr. JaNine Hyman with us in the virtual studio. Don't you move. Don't you go anywhere. We're going to get started right after this quick intro. You're live on the Charlotte Mitchell Radio Show.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Charlotte Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Charlotte Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Charlotte Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone. And thank you so much for checking out the Charlotte Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. Hey there, everyone on Facebook, multiple places on Facebook. Hello to our YouTube audience. Hello to LinkedIn and to Twitter. We are so excited to have you. And to those that check out the show in our podcast version and in our talk radio show version, we are glad to have you. Hello, Dr. Valerie Harris. Thank you for joining us. Listen, Betty Jean Stanley Mitchell, always in the house. That's my mom there. Give her some love. We're excited to have you all coming on in. If you're new to this broadcast, type new in the comments, type new in the chat, because we want to show you some love and give you some love. Listen, this segment is brought to you by the Platform Builder program. This is my signature 12-month group coaching program that's all around and focused on working with high achieving women entrepreneurs and leaders to enable them to position their expertise with a polished visual brand, to increase visibility with speaking and media opportunities, to build their authority with a published book, and to help them generate more leads, contacts, and contracts with their content marketing. And listen, enrollment ends on Thursday, so jump over to platformbuilderprogram.com to find out more details and schedule a Zoom to see if this is a good fit for you. So welcome again. I see everyone coming in. I see the hearts and the love coming on up. Listen, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about our guest, and then we're going to get this party started as we talk about live streaming. And really, for those of you that are leaders, absolutely in any area, I'm going to say business, on your career, in your career, certainly ministry and not-for-profit as well, how leaders can amplify their influence, because guess what? You have an obligation to do so. So today's guest, JaNine Hyman, is a psychologist, a theologian, an award-winning educator. She's an author, an international apostolic voice, and I am telling you what, she is the host of Unscripted Live. So if any of you are watching that are faithful watchers of Unscripted Live, you all already know what's about to take place today. She is the primate bishop of Kingdom Life Apostolic Movement, senior apostle for the International Congress of Apostles and Prophets. She holds her Ph.D. from Walden University, and then several other degrees from Virginia Union University, Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology, Virginia State, Wexford University. You can see her full bio on charvet.com or look down below in the show notes if you're listening to the podcast. Dr. Hyman has served as an instructor of psychology at Virginia Union University, Virginia State University, John Tyler Community College, South University, and as a professor of psychology and religious studies and department chair of arts and sciences at Stratford University. And in addition, she has served as clinical supervisor, program director, and executive director of several clinics and community mental health organizations for over 35 years. Put your hands together. Give a warm round of virtual applause coming up to the mic right now. I call her Apostle Hyman. We're going to say Dr. Hyman today. Coming up right now, we are excited. Welcome to the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show.
I am excited. I'm wired.
Wow.
I am so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Listen, back, I don't know. I can't remember the first time that we had you on, but listen, we got you on episode 715 and we're excited for that. And so I actually want to kind of go back and talk about the psychology bug. Like, when did psychology bite you, or you picked it, or when did you get into that space?
I was actually 16. Taking a health and PE course with my mother, Lord have mercy. And we hit a chapter on neurosis and psychosis. And my mother had asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And because she's a teacher, I'm like a teacher. She's like, So when I read the thing on neurosis and psychosis, that chapter, and I read about psychologists, I knew at 16, that's what I wanted to be. And so when I went to VCU, I majored in psychology.
Wow. And so when did ministry come about? Was ministry melded in there, and how have you really blended them? Because in some senses, some people feel like they're in conflict. So,
yes, ma'am. You are absolutely right.
Yeah.
I knew at 17, I was supposed to preach. And so came to Richmond, came to school, recruited here to play basketball at VCU, and heard that clarion call to preach, and began doing that. And when I began to work on my master's in clinical psych under my late mentor, Florence Farley, I also, at that time, our bishop, James Brown, had died and had been hammering me about going to seminary, which I said no. But out of my grief, I went on to seminary, and I was in my third year at Virginia State as a clinical psychology student. And out of grief, I went to the seminary, and I was in both programs at the same time. And my clinical professor was like, "What are you doing?" And the people at Union was like, "You don't need that." And then my Bishop James Brown said, "You don't need a degree in psychology. Just go on and get, And so I had to work that out, only to find out that there is no theology without psychology. There's no psychology without theology or anthropology or any of that. They are, in some sense, inextricably intertwined. And I have learned over these 42 years in ministry how to blend the best of the scientific, because God is omniscience, omniscient, and the sacred, the psychological. And of course, I work very heavily in the prophetic. That helps me do diagnosis real quick, because I know what I got for if I do my test. And so what we haven't done very well in the church, you're absolutely right, is that we have made these juxtapositioned almost as though they are in conflict with one another. And we know that people can love Jesus, love the Lord, but when you've been in oppression for 400 years, your love in Jesus is not going to fix your trauma. And so we intertwine that faith and then our doing something on our own to work through our stuff. And so that's the way I do what I do.
Wow. All of that. And again, listeners and viewers, you can read Dr. Hyman's full bio on charvette.com. Thank you, Deborah, who said, "I set my alarm for this episode." So we are excited. Thank you so much, Ms. Douglas, as well, for being here, and all of you. I see, yes, Dr. Chandra Williams is in the house.
Hey, baby sis.
Yes, already friends of the show. And so something that's interesting that I think that people should think about, certainly you mentor, you coach and guide other leaders, you are a leader's leader. And when we think about influence, the word influence, which some people might kind of shy away from as well, what is the responsibility you would say to those that have some level or realm of influence? What is their responsibility to share that information, to give out whatever their mandate is? What's that responsibility if you have influence?
Well, first of all, you have to know where your area of influence is. A lot of times, as an oppressed people, particularly as women, we have kind of been conditioned away from influence. But the truth of the matter is the whole entire world is birthed out of the loins of the Black woman. So we carry so much weight and so much oil. And many times we shy from that because it's a man's world.
And she sings, y'all. And she sings. We're not gonna. She might be under contract, so I'm not gonna make her sing.
I ain't no contract. You know, I'm Jack Leg. Put me in front of the choir. I'm good. But so many times, women in particular have been conditioned to shy away from using their influence. There are certainly things systemically that suppress the voice of the woman. For instance, many people don't know that King's "I Have a Dream" speech came from a woman, conversation he had with a woman. The impact of Coretta and her stuff, but we pushed the man in front. I remember the late Bishop Patterson of Kojic said, I don't know why y'all have a problem with women pastors, because the majority of these churches that we enjoy, the women birth them out and then we put the men in them. And so we've kind of been conditioned to shy away from that. But when we are in alignment with our source and we are comfortable in the skin that we're in, then it is our responsibility to effectively reach those that are within our metron. So you have to know to whom you are sent. You have to know the reach of your influence, or what it should be. And then, we think God gonna do that. No, God's gonna get in what we do when we posture ourselves to be impactful. And most of us really just are afraid, not just of, we're not just afraid of failure. I remember my mother said, Reverend, why aren't you soaring? I'm like, what else you want me to do? You're not soaring. I said, well, maybe it's fear of failure. She said, no, baby, you got too much self-esteem for that. Your problem is the fear of success. Yes. And so the fear of success keeps many of us from venturing out into uncharted waters. But if there's any call, any area of expertise on us, we have a responsibility to reach as many that are assigned to us as possible by whatever means necessary.
Wonderful. I love this conversation. We have a lot of high achieving women that listen to this show that are building businesses, building on the side and what have you. And so certainly marketing, that's really the foundation of leveraging your influence in the right way. And so I want to go back a few years, because I remember a few years ago, I said, Reverend Dr. Apostle Hyman, you need to be doing live streaming. You need, this great presence, this great articulation. And do you remember that person when I first told you, I think you really need to be doing live streaming? What was your initial thought process?
I remember it like it was. My mama said, I'm gonna have to die to forget it. Cause she's like, hi, Pastor. We passing each other coming out of church, right? And you turn around and said, you. I said, whoa, you need to be. And I said, I can't do that. If the Lord don't speak to me, I can't do that. And you said, Apostle, all you need to do is open your mouth. I said, yeah, but I don't know. And you said, this was right before the pandemic. So you were actually prophetically accurate. You say, okay, these people, we can shut down. They ain't got nothing else to do. You just need to open your mouth. When you open your mouth, that Apostle, just open your mouth. And I told you jokingly then, well, if he don't speak to me, I don't speak to thee. And my first couple of ones that I did, I actually recorded them and then put them up. Now I eased myself into it. And I mean, it kept getting hit. And after a while, I started doing it. And you say, you need to do it regularly. You need to do them short. I said, I can't do short. You write a dissertation, you don't do short. And you actually came on and a couple of times. And I said, y'all, I'll be back next week. If he don't speak to me, I don't speak to thee. And that became my lingo. After a while, it just morphed itself into a weekly, and so I have the coach to thank for pushing me into something that I was uncomfortable with. And I've been standing in front of people 40 some years.
So this is what I hear a lot. I hear so many people, and I see people who can stand in front of 500, 1,000 people, like speak in public or do training and workshops. And
Yes.
something about me saying, get in front of the camera and look at that. And if it all go, what do you think that is? What do you think that is?
Number one, it is do my hair look right? Do my makeup look right? It is this fear of scrutiny. Did I say it right? And then we understand the viciousness of the culture where they will take a soundbite of your stuff and do whatever they will with it, with the venom and the vitriol, like they did Jeremiah Wright. It's a soundbite.
Yeah.
And so there's the culture of Christian vipers and the culture of oppressive vipers. So there's that fear there. And kind of when you're there, you're like, what if I make a mistake? I've done this. I've been in front of 10,000 people. I've been on continents. But when you told me this, I was like, no, he ain't told me, and blah, blah. And I mean, you saw what I was missing. And so, now it's just kind of second nature, but it's that, do I look right? Do I sound right? Am I going to get it right? And studies actually show when you're doing lives, that if you actually mess up something or something, people like it because you feel like a real person.
Yes.
So, I have been on lives and my mama called, y'all, hold on. My mama getting old. Hold on. Hello. Say hi to the people. They love it. Or the dog is doing something. It makes you seem human. And so we don't need perfection. We just need you in your authenticity.
This is so good, as we always do with personal branding and all of that. And you said a mouthful right there. I want to go back to something for those that are here saying, I'm a little bit fearful of testing out the waters with live stream. You said the first thing was you recorded video. So you could start with just recording and putting some video out. That's a great way. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Coming on in. Hey, April. Thank you. Happy Tuesday. Thank you, Gerard. Absolutely. Listen, Dr. Val said, help us today. I want to capture Miss Douglas. We as women carry the mantles to succeed. Oh, wow. It may be heavy, but as we release the voice within, the mantle is easier to carry. Thank you so much for that comment. And so that's why I'm absolutely a proponent. I'm always telling clients in the business space around leveraging the power of live streaming, which if you're just popping in, hey, you're checking out the Charvette Mitchell radio show. And we're talking about live streaming and how leaders can amplify their influence. And we started off really talking about there's a demand on you. If you have influence, you have a realm of influence. If there are people waiting on bated breath of what you have to say, you have a obligation to get that out, business, ministry, or secular. And so, so now since you've started, tell us some of the results of you just getting in front of unscripted live. Listen, I got it here. Unscripted live. I've tagged Reverend Dr. Apostle Hyman. I've tagged her. It's also in the show notes if you're on the podcast or the radio show version. So every Sunday, 9 p.m. What have been the impacts and the results of that?
Just as you said, they didn't have nothing else to do during the pandemic. And so people just started like, listen to this lady. Oh my God. Particularly those who are woke, or those who are leaving Christianity or deciding, or who have left church, who saying, okay, they lying to us and blah, blah, blah. You just know you have to get that harvest. But even as I was kind of out there, I was already started making some moves, and then certain people started listening in. And one of those people, we had done some things before. One of those people was Archbishop Bernard Jordan, who heard me doing a thing on deconstructing white Jesus. So he said, you coming to my home, to my studio, and you're going to teach my prophets. And so that went on Facebook. That went on YouTube. It was so powerful. They took us off while I was still teaching. And the next day we came, and it just went from one thing to another. Also out of it, I began to do classes. Kingdom Concept School of Ministry. Most of the people who were signing up either saw those videos with Bernard Jordan, George Bloomer, Brian Carn, any of those people, and they, or they were unscripted. Actually, we started with instructions for the time, and then I was like, God, I have nothing, and I'd be sitting here at 9 o'clock like this, like, okay, I'm say
like,
something.
what am I saying? Yeah.
Yes, and I'm just like, okay, the baby said, open my mouth. And so it's unscripted. Most of the time I have no notes, no anything. It's just functioning in that realm of revelation. And so I've got new students from the new students of Kingdom Concepts. We have each year now, this is our third, I guess, annual gathering of the Remnant Summit that has met here. And it's just snowballing from one thing into another. Some of it is making me a little uncomfortable because it's making me stretch into my assignment. Not carry the assignment so I can control it, but it's stretching me into my assignment. And all of that came just from visibility and certain people tapping into the voice.
And someone seeing your live stream. And a lot of times people sit back and say, well, nobody invites me to speak. I'm not getting the speaking engagement. There's a couple things. You said a whole bunch. You did an Oprah Life class right there. So there's a couple things I want to pull out. Sometimes people sit back and say, well, I didn't get invited to speak at Charvette's Platform Builder Summer, or I didn't get invited to speak at this, or I didn't. When in actuality, we don't even know if you can speak. Because you haven't demonstrated that. So number one, if you're taking notes, live streaming shows that you can speak. Some of you only want the big stages and you want NBC or you want Bishop T.D. Jakes stage, but can you look in the camera the right way? Are you used to, so when you go on TV that you can't look at the monitor, you got to look at the camera, and live streaming will teach you that. It will teach you that. Listen, we're getting claps. Miss Ellis said, I remember eye-opening teaching. Absolutely. Lisa, absolutely. Ayana Smith, wow, how awesome. The growth, the expansion for doing what you were designed to do. Have a question coming in. Which streaming platform do you recommend for live streaming? So thank you for this question.
Hey, Kiana, that's my daughter.
All right. Thank you for being here. So if you're just starting out in Apostle Hyman, we even had this discussion, like what to you, like literally your phone, like literally if you're starting, don't even get caught up in software and all of that. Start with your phone. But then I use StreamYard. Apostle Hyman, what do you use?
I use Restream.
Great. So there's some options out there, and that makes it a little bit more fancier, but don't get caught up in the technology until you get there. Literally just on your phone works beautifully. So thank you for that. Thank you for that question. And this
is my iPad.
Yeah, iPad. I'm on a laptop. There's nothing that you probably got a call or something coming in. There's nothing in particular that you have to have. You are welcome. There's nothing in particular that you have to have. And sometimes people, well, do I have to have a certain microphone? Hey, Gwen, I see you there. Hey, Elder Antoinette over in my Facebook community. Or do I need to have, I have some lights, but quite honestly, if you get in front of a kitchen window, if the sun is coming in, my videographer says all the time, sunlight, Mother Nature is the best lighting anyway.
Absolutely.
So what do you say to people who are like
in front of the kitchen window?
There you go. Right.
And I do have a little inexpensive ring light, but before I did that, I just, especially in the daytime when I was on platforms with like Bloomer and those people, I just opened my blinds.
Yeah.
And they said, well, you don't really need a whole lot. You just need this, and this. Most of it I already had. And so start where you are, start with what you have, so you're not making excuses. Yeah. Make a way or make an excuse. Take your pick.
You get to choose. And by you having unscripted live consistently, so it started off a little, and I know you have a huge travel, you have itinerary, you do a lot of travel, but you started off kind of like when you could, when you had a word, but then now it's like really consistent. So people like know when to look for you. And that's something that I say to customers, just like your favorite TV show, whatever you watch, you lurking Wednesday at 9 p.m. or Sunday at 6 p.m. Mm-hmm. People are expecting you. If you don't go live, if you're late, are people sending you messages like, where are you? What's going on?
Where you at? Or if I know I'm on the road, like Sunday, I'm driving, like getting back to Richmond. They know we'll see her 9-ish. or something happens where I'm in a hotel room or whatever, and I have technical difficulty, I'll send out a little note. They may or may not get it with the new Facebook algorithm to say, hey, give me a few minutes, technical difficulties. They are looking for me.
Yeah.
They are looking for me. And side note, I'm not a offering raiser or a sin seed. I never do that. My people just start giving. Charbet, they start giving at 7 and 8 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Yeah. In anticipation. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, dang, I won't come on. Now I gotta go.
Right. I gotta do it.
Come on. Yes. So you just don't know who is watching you. And friends from years ago, they call me Big Sis, just bless me Sunday out of nowhere, and say, your voice, they bless me. Your voice has been a prophetic staple in our lives. And we just wanted to give you a love tap. You don't know. I didn't know.
You didn't. And listen, anyone, and so that's on the ministry side, because number one, you're sowing, you're giving information, so people respond to that. On the business side, those of you doing business, when you go live, you're going to sell more products. You're going to get more consultations. You're going to get, because you have an opportunity to showcase what you know, and then give people a call to action of where to go. So that it works all around. If you are a nonprofit, you will get more sponsors. If you are showing up, showcasing what you all are doing in the community and telling people, hey, if you do want to sow into this or give into this, this is how you do it. And so live streaming is really your own broadcast. We have cut through, and Apostle Hyman, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Like, we've cut out NBC, CBS, like we've cut out the major networks, and they're actually kind of scared. Now, yes, do we want those platforms? Absolutely. However, now you have been able to create your own platform and leverage it. Any thoughts around that? Or even if the major media, and I know you've been on the Word Network and different things like that, how did the live streaming help you be prepared for major media?
It's simply the same piece. Somebody's tagging somebody, and they go, oh my God, who is this? Who is she? So something actually made it to Larry Reed Live, and it blew up. Who is this lady? And from that, it just, it's almost like a snowball effect. It may be a little slow at first, but the further that thing goes down, the greater the momentum. And the greater the momentum, that snowball gets bigger and bigger. So, it's really just doing that. Because every experience gets you ready for a larger experience. Every opportunity prepares you for another opportunity.
Yes. And confidence comes with preparation. So those of you sitting back saying, well, of course, Charvette, you could do it. You're confident. Of course, Reverend Dr. Apostle Hyman could do it. She's confident. But some of you are sitting back waiting for confidence, and confidence is waiting on you. Confidence is like, sis, I don't go first. You go first. And
that's it.
Yeah.
My mentor told me, he said, the antidote for lack of confidence is competence.
Yeah.
So when you practice, they told us this in Mary Kay, I'm Mary Kay lady too. Get in front of your mirror and practice this and grand, and all of that. Get in front of the mirror, say what you got to say. And then, you sit, you clear your head, and then you get ready to go. If you make a mistake, do you know how many people made mistakes on doing Dance Theater of Harlem? Somebody makes a mistake and almost fall. But the way they incorporate that fall into the show, people will still give them a standing ovation and say it wasn't picture perfect, but it was excellent because we saw you recover. Just be you and be comfortable in the skin you're in.
Live streaming, how leaders can amplify their influence. So absolutely, hands down, if you are a leader, you identify as a leader, you got somebody following you, you have influence. Number one, you have an obligation. But live streaming is absolutely one of the things I recommend for anyone, business, ministry, nonprofit, anyone in leadership. That's going to expand your voice, in particular if you know there are more people that you're supposed to be reaching. Let me capture one of my platform builder clients, Chanel. Every opportunity prepares you for another and bigger opportunity. Thank you so much, CPA, accountant, all of that right there. Procrastination keeps us from our purpose. Yeah. And so many people say, I want to do live. So let me give you I'm going to say a trick, but let me give you something for that. Because sometimes what will happen, Apostle Hyman, is people say, okay, I'm going to go live. Okay, tomorrow. I'm going to go live at 12 noon. And then 11:55 a.m. tomorrow comes and all of this goes through and you're like, oh, never mind. And you only said it to yourself. So then it's easy to procrastinate.
Yes, ma'am. You talk yourself out of it.
Yes, here's what you do, especially for live streaming. Put it out. I'm going
to
even create a little flyer. I'm going to be live at 12 noon on whatever day. That will sell. That will help that procrastination. Because have you ever backed out on yourself?
But you know what? But yeah, because you just talk yourself out of it. Then I'm like, okay, it done lifted. But every time that I put a flyer out, whether I have something or not, it's okay. I done told the people now I have to show up because I'm a woman of my word. That absolutely works. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Absolutely works.
That works. Well, listen, I have stolen a few more minutes than I asked for. So as we wrap up, the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate you.
Moi?
Yes. What continues to motivate you?
When I see what I do affect people, when I see people grow, when I see people have aha moments, when I see people break out of emotional bondage, then I know I'm doing what I'm created to do. I would do this if I didn't get paid. Actually, I did do it, but the baby, she brought me in. I did do it. I did. And so when you are functioning in the thing you were created to do, that's what gives you your juice. You'll do it in your sleep.
Yeah, there you go. Well said. Well said. How can people connect with you and see your broadcast?
Okay, we're on, now that I'm using Restrainer, you can catch us on Facebook, subscribe to my Facebook channel, it's JaNine Hyman, Facebook Live, and Twitter. And one day I'm gonna get on Instagram. We'll find a way to make that work. And so we do that. And matter of fact, tonight, each Tuesday night, you join us for The Doctors Are In. All of us are, I'm the baby of the group, but all of us are doctoral level professionals dealing with our issues and jarring people's thinking so that we can rise up in power and do what we need to do. Every Tuesday night, 9 p.m.
All right, there you go. Well, I am so glad that we had you just come by and be able just to share. And I know that, if you're listening or even live or later and there was a nugget or something, just type nugget in the comments. Type nugget in the comments. Type nugget in the comments. There was something that you caught from this. Thank you so much. Yes. Really a lot of gems. Thank you so much, Rudy. Listen, your audience is here and attentive. My audience is here. Everybody is here. If there was a nugget, just type nugget and also throw up some hearts and let us know and share this out if there's someone that you know needs to have this information. Thank you, Dr. Val. Thank you so much. And listen, I gave her the same instruction. Reverend Dr. Apostle Hyman, I told her do 8 Facebook Lives. And now, Val, type in the comments, how many lives have you done now? I told her do an 8-part series. This was over a year and a half ago. Val, tell us how many lives you've done. Hey, Mary, thank you so much.
Absolutely, Mary.
Yes, Constance is saying nuggets. Thank you, Chanel. Thank you for this conversation. Just sent a friend request on Facebook. So there you go, nuggets. Thank you. Thank you, Elder Paul Moses, for being here. Okay, so this is what I want to show you. So I told this young lady who's one of my platform builder clients, mastermind level, and I told her a year and a half ago, I said, just do an 8-part series. Now, Dr. Val, who doesn't mind me sharing, is 70 years old. She has done now 149 Facebook Lives, like verifiable. You can go back to her page. She also streams on YouTube, and she will tell you that it was a complete blessing. And nuggets are still coming in. Thank you. All right, that's what we want. Well, thank you so much. We'll catch you later at 9 p.m. Thank you for being here on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
so much.
Welcome. All right. What a great conversation. Because, I could tell you all day, do live stream. But then when you hear live examples, and in particular, those of you that are leaders who I work best with, you have a live example here. And so thank you for being here. Charvette.com is our main website. So if you're like, oh, I didn't catch all of it, or I want to send this to someone, Charvette.com is the best place to do that, because you can get to the podcast version, you can get to the YouTube version, or youtube.com/Charvette. subscribe to our channel if you like this content. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you. One of our brand new Platform Builder clients who signed up today. So excited to be working with you. Hey, Yulika Kimber, who hit the stage for the Platform Builder Summit. She was season one Platform Builder and doing amazing things. All right, it's a wrap. We'll see you all later on the web. Again, if you are interested in the Platform Builder program, jump over to platformbuilderprogram.com. And enrollment ends on Thursday. So what that means is you need to at least get your Zoom scheduled with me so we can see if the program is a good fit for you or if you're a good fit for us. All right. Until we meet again, peace and love. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.